Good morning. How did you get on in Ireland yesterday? Bohemians, as expected, the only real angle in there if it was 0-0 at half time. Cork concede, don't they? It's as simple as that. That's your trading angle for that match. Remembering Cork concede. So if it is 0-0 late on, or if Cork are leading 1-0 late on, that's how you play that particular statistic. Derry and Galway, the angle here would be if Galway opened the scoring. Derry should be eyeing 2 goals at home ordinarily. So the angle would be, indeed, that is something we look out for. Stephen Francis will tell you, first goal, important for the opponent. Is it a penalty? Is it an own goal? Because you can infer that it's not deserved and they're lucky to be ahead. That was your target there after 10 minutes. Half-time market is an option for greater value and greater risk, of course, because you're giving yourself a time limit. But if you look logically at it, you've got 35 minutes of the first half to go. For a Derry City, you normally score 2 goals to score 2 goals. Ideally, 1 first half, 1 second half. That is perfect if you played half-time. If you played match odds, you'd have been umming and ahhing this one because it's such an early equaliser. Again, logic, 72 minutes left. Surely they get a winner. So you can play that particular aspect. If you played Derry +1, that's a superb scoreline for you because it covers the draw. Shamrock Rovers and Shelburne. This was as tight as we thought it would be. Shamrock dominated as we thought they would. Both teams to score possible as we thought it would be. A good win for Shamrock Rovers. It was 1-1 at half time, so that was your trading angle. Possibility of laying that draw second half with the hope that the league leaders and the unbeaten side would continue along their merry way, which they did. St Pat's and Drogs, a bit of a surprise to see a 0-0 for St Pat's at home. The best way to play this 0-0 is delaying, of course. Wait. Play the draw as late as possible. Irish First Division. Kerry were given a chance yesterday. 2-2, not a match I would have readily played. Similar story, Treaty and Bray. Trust issues with these two. Just in the wrong areas of the table. Well, not trust issues, but this is a top 4 clash where both sides have trouble beating the top 4. So how on earth are you going to unpack this unless you're using in-play stats? This is a trust issue problem. 2 sides at the wrong end of the table. Similar story here. Dundalk and UCD, the only angle in here for me is UCD's trouble scoring against the top 5 away. Well, they didn't score first, so they're in no angle. Possibility of laying the draw second half if you fancied it, 1.55 favourite. All dependent on the in-play stats. I was umming and ahhing this one with you, but again, it's such a lacklustre league. But Sandviken, 3 out of 3 wins against 13th and lower. That 0-0 at half time. You could have had a speculative punt on that one. Really decent odds pre-match as well. For a side with what I call embedded form. 3 out of 3 wins against 13th and lower. Playing 15th. Bang. Really good form, isn't it? And crossed the line. Let's have a look at the tennis from yesterday. Do try and retrospectively trade like this. You'll just keep the old grey matter working. Trying to spot the angles, and you'll learn with every day. Any clearer distinctions? Well, you can see quite clearly yesterday, but there was no favourite. There was no first set winner losing the second set. And that, I think I would have possibly got involved there with tiebreakers. Now, the only trading angle for the second set is if Medvedev at any stage led and was then pegged back. Because when you've got something like this where it's on serve, you're going to have to either decide to bail out or wait for a possible break point. And you can see 2 break points generated in the third match by Medvedev. He just couldn't convert. So at no stage was he actually ahead in the match. But was he ahead at any stage here? Not really. Was he? It was 4-3 there. You're looking for something in the second set which will trigger an odds movement. We didn't really see it, did we? Not a trader's day, it seems, in the tennis yesterday. All first set winners winning their second sets. Generally speaking, the odds-on favourites delivering, which is what you want. You want reliable odds-on favourites, because if they go a set down, Kudermetova, I did warn you about these two as well. Look for fellow country people meeting each other, because they'll know each other's games a lot more intimately than anybody else. Therein, you'll get a potential competitive match. Kudermetova winning the first set, Alexandrova winning the next two. That's your archetypal trade. Very, very strong favouritism yesterday. The favourites tending to deliver, apart from Madison Keys, who lost the first set. Bang. So we got two in the ladies yesterday, if you spotted those. Now, we'll be going more in depth with the tennis, of course, if I can get that damn manual finished. I will have another dig at it today. Let's have a look at today's football. And the Euros continue. We've got, like we had a couple of days ago with the 8 p.m s, we had 3 out of 3 odds-on favourites. And they gave us competitive football. One of the odds-on favourites was 2 goals down, ended up with a 2-2. So plenty of scope here. France better get the skates on, because I think it was 0-0 in their opener. And this is being the group stage. You're going to have to start drinking some espresso and eating some croissant, because you've just got the draw. Pork and cheese got the draw as well. I think they played each other, didn't they? Poland lost their opener unexpectedly against Georgia under-21. I don't expect Georgia under-21 to maintain their first status in that group. It's a very competitive group. This is a key clash, therefore, for France under-21. Must nip this lot in the bud. But do watch out. There was a shock result for Georgia against Poland. Poland dominated the match. Is this a specific tactic for Georgia? Let them dominate. Do a Tony Pulis, nick a goal. Merry Christmas. Spain under-21 against Romania. Bang. You saw the first match. They were 2-0 up against Slovakia under-21s before you knew it. They're likely to blow away this Romanian side in the first half, I would suggest. Pork and cheese must get their skates on. Draw in the first match. Poland lost the first match. It's a must-win for both teams. What do we do in must-wins? We lay the draw late on. Slovakia under-21s against Italy. Italy had better be a little wary of this lot. They scored 2 goals in their, enthusiasm for being the hosts in the opening day against Spain under-21. But eventually lost 2-3. But a very good recovery. Now, if they've got 2 goals in them today, they might punish this Italian side. Am I just being stereotypical here, though? Expecting Italy to hoover up all of the attack from Slovakia and nick a 1-0. That's my worry with Italy. They might not be able to pull off a 1-0 against Slovakia under-21 if they're as enthusiastic as they were in the opener. So watch out for that. It's going to be an intriguing match. It's a pity these kickoffs are at 8 p.m, which for me is 2 a.m. It makes it incredibly difficult for me to justify staying up till 2 a.m. just for a matter of 3 matches you can eminently read yourself, given the market's helped you considerably. So plenty to play for. There's a lot of must-wins in these group stages, running out of matches as well. Sligo against Waterford. Well, this is a warning in and of itself, so I'm not going to persist too long with this particular match. 2.45 the favourite. Take your cues from the market, because they're telling you this is an unreadable match. You don't have a shout, mate. If we can't figure it out, good luck yourself. Well, Sligo are bottom of the league, Waterford are third bottom. That tells you the story. But Waterford have 2 times as many points as Sligo Rovers. What's happened here? I haven't got a clue. But it's an opportunity, surely, is it not, for Sligo to do some damage. Their win coming against Galway, so they can beat the bottom 4. That was a 1-0. Couple of draws, 2-2 against Drogs and 2-2 against St. Pat's. So if Waterford continue with that 2-goal habit, that might spell sayonara for Sligo Rovers. Longford and Co-Bramblers, that's about right. Co-Bramblers having an excellent season in the first division. I'll do the podcast for you today as well, so you can listen to my old pal Megan about suspensions and injuries. That's the main purpose of the podcast. It's that angle for you, which can prove crucial. May have been behind St. Pat's 0-0 yesterday, for example. Longford are bottom, Co-Bramblers are second. That picks itself, really, doesn't it? You're on 4 wins in 5 matches. Scoring and conceding, though, is something to look out for, particularly if Longford score the first goal. Longford lost to Kerry, which is really, really poor form. So that looks to pick itself as well. Superettan, just a little bit of caution. But Sandviken were readable enough yesterday, weren't they? So let's just have a quick peek at the conclusions in the Superettan. 2 consecutive 0-0s for Helsingborg. Should end today. I thought Helsingborg were favourite. Indeed, I had them down as 1.7 favourite, which I did say in the research I disagreed with. And indeed, looks as if I might have been wrong there. So, looks like Falkenberg are the favourite today. I'm sorry, my case sticks. This is remnants of being when I was hacked. They dismantled some of the keys because my surname's Keeling and I had a Kraken account, and this makes it a lot more difficult for me to see my K. Am I being too paranoid? I don't know. But Falkenberg are the favourite, and that's deserved. That's deserved. So I can get rid of that. The key thing to point out here is not to expect another 0-0 for Helsingborg. I would expect Falkenberg to give it a good go today. Top of the tree, Kalmar today, but this is their first test. They've not played this top 7 at home, so their reason for being top could be skewed by the fact they're playing slightly weaker opponents. This is going to be the tester because it's a top 5 clash as well, and they haven't played top 7. They are unbeaten this season. A good litmus test for Kalmar. Well worth watching at 2 o'clock. I'll be around for these for sure. 3 defeats for Ostersund, 2 of them coming away. But strangely, oddly, Oddevold love being away from home, picking up wins, picking up 2 goals. So a watching brief for me. I would disagree with the market. I would think the away side could be a lot more competitive. They love playing away from home, Oddevold. Umeå and Sundsvall. Well, Umeå is a great example to you of the unpredictability of these leagues. Here we have a side with 6 failings to score in 7 matches. And then suddenly, in the last 2, they've got a 3-3 and a 2-2. What on earth's going on? So that's just a little microcosm of these lower tiers. Can be a little difficult to predict. But in that regard, neutral could be the better angle, couldn't it? Over 2.5 goals. Umeå tend to be there or thereabouts. So that could be your angle for this particular match. Sundsvall, like Oddevold, enjoy being on the road. They are keeping clean sheets, 2 consecutive clean sheets. But with Umeå, you do have a goal threat. The problem is, if they could just get a defensive coach, they'd have the winning formula. They've got 2 or 3 in the locker now, the last 2 matches, but they're conceding 2 or 3. So they come out of it with a point only. So members of FootballTradingProfits.com, I'll see you from 2 o'clock, it seems, today. Maybe have a look at the 5 o'clock, but these late ones, it's very difficult for me to get enthused about what is only 5 matches. You don't need me for 5 matches. Quite easy to read as well. Bottom of the league here. Bottom of the league here. Potentially vulnerable, but the market's giving them a shout. So you've got to respect that. Must-win territory now. Italy had better be careful if Slovakia had 2 goals in the locker. Poland, unexpected win. Unexpected loss to Georgia. In trouble now if they don't win today. Portugal must win, having drawn their opener. France must win, having drawn their opener. Georgia must win to make it 2 out of 2. Romania may be in trouble. A 1-0 loss to Italy under 21 could be what we see today. Ultra defensive, perhaps. Spain had better work at it. Only winning by a single goal in their opener. But they do have that pedigree in this competition. Have a great day today. I will see members of Football Trading Profits from 2 p.m. onwards. Watch out for the podcast. I'll be putting all of my personal research in, along with Google's analytical powers, and also asking for the injuries and suspensions to be sorted out for you. I'm trying to do a podcast on my own, but this is a podcast, is it not? 15 minutes long. I've taken you through every single match. The other podcast is an addition. I don't want to be doubling my workload just because some of you don't like the sound of an American woman talking, or I don't like it either because it's very unauthentic, talking about the championship playoff with Meghan Markle and Ken from Ken and Barbie. So I'll have to think about the podcast. What I can do potentially is take the audio from here and use that as a podcast, but you'll be missing the screen version. So some options moving in. I'm working on scripting as well. If I can get a good script going and I can get a podcast 5 minutes long, something like that, it's not going to be a great burden on me. They're very simple to make. So at the moment, we're sticking with Meghan Markle, and I'll be getting her analysing all of these matches, in particular for the injuries and suspensions. That's my key pointer, because that's something I can't do, or rather I can do, but AI does it in seconds, where I do it in an hour or more, trying to find out who's injured or not in all of these matches. Have a great day. See you from 2 p.m. onwards. Might have a tinkle at today's tennis. Don't forget the tennis. I hope you're dipping your toe in. Football trading and tennis trading is closely aligned. Coming to the end of the Hertekenbosch, Riley Opelka, Bergs, Humbert and Diallo. Don't have a strong opinion on these, but the market does. A couple of odds on favourites. Don't forget, these are the first of 2 sets. So the first set loser must win the next set to stay in the match. Taylor Fritz is going to be tested today against Agro-Lyceum, coming back off injury. He's normally very, very reliable, Taylor Fritz, but coming off the back of that injury concern. Zverev as well, 1.57, is going to be tested by Shelton. You can see it in the market, can't you? But this is a German in Germany. You'd expect Zverev to give 110%, cover every blade of grass. In Halle, we're looking at our Germans to start with. What about Schönhaus against de Jong, who is literally unbackable, it seems? Got to be laid at the off. Schönhaus might have an unexpectedly solid day in front of home support. Similar story as Zaraj, Hanfmann. Watch out particularly for the underdogs like Engel, Zaraj and Schönhaus. Some of them won the first set, for example, in their opener, but eventually were bought back. That's the kind of angle I like. And remember, any odds, 1.08 or lower, you've got to lay, haven't you? Some big names in London. Corentin Moutet. Monday's playing. Fantastic stuff for the mighty Monday. Clark. So watch out for the Brits. Searle. Hello. Clark. Nice to see you. Monday. Hello, darling. Hello, Monday. He's playing Rinderknecht. So just keep an eye on the local lads. They might overperform. Elsewhere, we've got a lot of Aussies playing today. I'll be looking at a potential 3-setter here, knowing each other. Kerendulu might give Vukic something to think about, or rather he would if it was clay. Kerendulu was excellent on clay, being a South American. No strong angles for me. Again, fellow Americans meeting each other might suggest Kovacevic more competitive than he would normally be. Those are the only angles. Have a great day. Look out for the podcast a bit later on. I'll be looking at ways to change time-wise to make it in my voice. So have a think about that. Maybe something around this podcast working in audio format. Have a great day, and I'll see members of Football Trading Profits for 2 o'clock for a potentially tradable Superettan today. We do have our angles in, don't we? And they did work quite well yesterday.